Let's talk a little bit about interaction, about how to communicate with me about issues in regards to class, and just generically the whole student-teacher interaction thing that's quite difficult on the internet in distance learning courses of this nature, especially when so many of you are in various time zones around the world. In terms of communicating direct with me about issues that are directly relevant to you, personal issues in regards to your paper, your work, whatever the case may be, email is the best. I try to answer quickly. I try to answer within 24 hours. Usually I answer more quickly than that. If for some reason I don't, feel free to nudge me a bit. If you haven't gotten an answer back, that will not offend me. In regards to general issues that might be of interest to all of your colleagues, like, I don't know, technical questions about the Blackboard site, the inability to find a particular article, questions about how a certain assignment should work that would be useful to everyone in the course, please post them to the Ask the Prof forum in the appropriate thread in that forum so that others can read the response rather than me having to ask the same question perhaps multiple times. Now, um, each module of the course has its own discussion board forum set up. Within that forum, there are a set of discussion questions. Those questions are designed to facilitate discussion with you and your colleagues, as well as to help direct you in the kinds of things I want you to think about in regards to the readings in that particular module. Each student is required to answer each discussion question and is required to respond to at least 2 of their colleagues' questions per module. So that if a given module, for example, has 5 discussion board questions, you should have 5 responses and at least 2 additional responses to your colleagues for a grand total of a minimum of 7. Of course, you can discuss much more than that if you so desire, and I encourage that. This is, of course, part of your grade and should help form a sort of solid free base of 10% of your score. If you fail to fulfill the discussion board requirements, those that will be deducted from your overall score, and has and caused some students' grades to fall a letter grade or some portion thereof. Um, Another thing about the Ask the Prof forum, there are 2 other purposes for that besides the technical issues. One is if you find some issue, some maybe New York Times or Washington Post story or something else in your research or your readings you think would be of interest to your colleagues or to me, feel free to post the link. Say, here's a story I read today. I think it's interesting because I think it's relevant to class because or whatever. There it is for people to read and perhaps be of use to them. The main thing though, each week, although I'm going to combine weeks 1 and 2, and I will not do this for week 10 because we'll be closing up the class and preparing for exams at that point, I'm going to take questions from the class. In the appropriate thread, please post your questions for that week, letting me know they're for week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, or whatever. And I will then prepare some sort of file, either text, audio, or video, probably audio, answering the questions so that we can have a little more interaction in terms of content of the class. So please, as you read, as you think about these things, write down questions that you would like me to answer. I can't guarantee that I'll answer every single one. I will pick from a set that I think are broadly useful for class and go from there. So that I leave in your hands to do. Otherwise, and if necessary, of course, if we need to talk on the phone, that's fine as well. I prefer to keep it electronic because it's difficult to arrange phone calls between my schedule and the fact that people are, again, all around the world. But we do our best. And I have talked to students on the phone in the past. So there we go. Hopefully that will help us to get a good idea about how we want to be able to interact in this course.